Hello, this is Piano Q&A. Today we're going to continue our discussion on teaching cross rhythms to our wonderful piano students. Today's discussion will center around an excerpt from a Mozart Sonata, and we'll go through the steps that I do or might do for a student. Bear in mind, as I go through this, I don't use every step with every student. I kind of go and see where they are and what works the best. Again, will be uploading these files up to my blog so that, and I'm showing them as we see the video, but then you can have access to that. So this is a Mozart Sonata, the Mozart Sonata in F major, K332, the first movement. It's a lovely, wonderful piece. In the second theme, it has a two-measure little clip that has two measures of 2 against 3. And the sonata itself is in triple time, 3/4 time. And so you've got two measures of eighth notes in the right hand that are just straight eighth notes or duplets against the triplets in the left hand. And it's just wonderful. I love examples like this because rather than just having one beat of 3 against 2 or 2 against 3, I've actually got several beats, and that helps students because it helps in their repetition and helps them feel that. So this is a great example. Obviously it's from the advanced literature, but you can apply it to a lot of intermediate level pieces. So here's the phrase that it comes from. This is again the second theme. I'll play that phrase. And then it goes on. So the little part, the two measures. So it's just wonderful, and he throws in some wonderful accidentals and chromaticism that just brings it all out. So we have this classic example of 2 against 3. So normally when I'm teaching students a passage like that, if they've had cross rhythms, I don't have to worry about it. If they're set, then we're just fine. If they have not, it can be a really difficult, challenging thing. I've had students come with this and go, and they sing-song the duples. They're not duples. They're actually kind of based off of that triplet. And so I've had to, or in very similar examples, be very creative in how I teach it and help students. So what I like to do with the 2 against 3 is I write it down in their notebook, and I have a little sheet that I actually just write it either on the music or in their notebook, and it will chart the 2 against 3. So we'll have 2 eighth notes in the right hand versus 3 triplet eighths in your left hand. And of course we explain the 2 times 3 equals 6. That's the least common multiple, and I'll write that out. And we kind of see where each of the notes falls in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I will show them, so if I were to play, I'll pick a note in each hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I also show the rhythm. It's together, left, right, left. Together, left, right, left. I also show just the rhythm, which is together, left, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I show them what that looks like, that rhythm, and we can translate that to 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then in my previous video, we talked about all the rhythm words. Strawberry time, strawberry time. Not difficult and all that. I won't go through all of those again today. Those are the rhythm words, again, as I mentioned before, are wonderful because they help the student hear, and that works for a lot of students. So if you just translate that into this with the strawberry time, strawberry time, strawberry, sorry, strawberry time, strawberry time. And I would probably start quite a bit slower. 1, 2, and 3. Strawberry time, strawberry time, strawberry time, so on and so forth. And or whichever rhythm word you do. This does not, those rhythm words are great. They don't work for every student. Mainly just because everyone has a different way of learning. So I also have a sheet of various helps where I dive into the minutest part of the rhythm, the divisions and subdivisions, and equate it to the 6/8 notes per measure, and so on and so forth. And I will show the visuals as I explain it, and we'll go from there. So what I like to do is kind of show them how the 2 and the 3, how the 6 works in each hand. And it sounds a little funny, but that's breaking it down to the very minute detail. Then the left hand, so on and so forth. I don't necessarily have them try those hands together because it's awkward. So it's a little odd, but just to show it in one hand at a time, and then they understand the minute detail of the 2 times 3 is 6. But I do, on this example in the visual, you can see on number 2, this is a really good thing for them to do, to get the left hand into the triplets, but play the little subdivisions. And that is wonderful. They start to feel, okay, this fits a little interesting. And then number 3, I will have them actually play where they're tying the 2 notes together as a quarter note. And so that makes sense. Then we actually tie the quarter to the 8th, which is the equivalent of the 3/8 notes in the right hand. And they can see that. Then I've also put down in notation the quarter tied to an 8th is the same as a dotted quarter, so they can see what that looks like. So that's an interesting, I'm just giving them lots of things to think about. Then I do the same thing. It will sound the same, but this is what it looks like when we put it in 3/8 time, each little segment. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then again, I put down on notation, what does it look like if you have dotted 8th notes and then the triplet in your left hand. So it's actually quite a rhythm lesson for them, and we go through that. And then on the bottom line, I have, this is what the score looks like. Now, what I do with students, I kind of find what works for them, what they're feeling, and my whole idea is what I talked about last time. They learn how to fit it, and that it becomes second nature to them. So after they do all of those steps, and then I will highlight a couple of them each week, and we do little metronome goals, at some point it starts to feel really, really good. If in their practicing of the piece they slide backwards and go back to the, then I take them through these little practice sheets all over again. And again, I have many, many of these sheets for every cross rhythm that I've come across in the last many years in my teaching. So this is just a little snippet into a 2 against 3 from Mozart. In my next video, I will show a 3 against 2. So again, any questions, please contact me, and it's a pleasure to share all of this with you. Thank you.